Mechanisms of retinal adhesion. The neurosensory retina remains attached to the retinal pigment epithelium through a dynamic balance of anatomical, physiological, and biochemical forces. Under normal conditions, this bond is not an anatomically rigid junction, but rather a functional adhesion. The primary mechanisms supporting it include the active pump of the pigment epithelium, which transports fluid from the subretinal space toward the choroid, osmotic and oncotic forces, which promote the dehydration of the subretinal space, vitreous pressure, which exerts a tamponade effect on the retina, and the integrity of the vitreoretinal interface, which is key to preventing pathological traction. When this balance is disrupted, whether by fluid influx, mechanical traction, or vascular alterations, the potential space between the retina and the RPE becomes a real space, initiating detachment. Rhegmatogenous retinal detachment. Rhegmatogenous detachment is the most common type and occurs when there is a full-thickness tear in the retina. This defect allows liquefied vitreous humor to pass into the subretinal space, separating the neurosensory retina from the pigment epithelium. The key pathophysiological event is typically a posterior vitreous detachment. With aging, the vitreous liquefies and collapses, generating traction on areas of strong adhesion. If this traction exceeds retinal resistance, it produces tears. Once the tear is formed, fluid flows into the subretinal space, metabolic support from the RPE is lost, and photoreceptor function is rapidly compromised. Predisposing factors include high myopia, prior intraocular surgery, peripheral degenerations, and ocular trauma. Tractional retinal detachment. Tractional detachment occurs without the need for an initial retinal tear. Here, the primary mechanism is the mechanical traction exerted by fibrovascular membranes on the retinal surface. These membranes typically develop in the context of retinal ischemia, such as proliferative diabetic retinopathy, retinopathy of prematurity, or vascular occlusions. Fibrovascular proliferation creates contractile structures that, as they shrink, progressively lift the retina. Unlike rhegmatogenous detachment, there is no primary influx of fluid. The retina assumes a more concave configuration, and the process can be more insidious. However, in advanced stages, the traction can induce secondary tears, turning into a combined detachment. Exudative serous retinal detachment. Exudative detachment, also known as serous detachment, is characterized by the accumulation of subretinal fluid without a tear or significant traction. The central pathophysiological mechanism is the disruption of the blood-retinal barrier. This can occur due to intraocular inflammation, choroidal tumors, vascular diseases, or macular degeneration. In these cases, fluid leaks from the choroid or retinal vessels into the subretinal space. Unlike the other types, the retina is usually mobile. The detachment can shift with changes in body position, and treatment depends on managing the underlying cause rather than primary surgery. Conclusion. Retinal detachment is not a single entity, but the result of distinct pathophysiological mechanisms that converge on the same outcome. The separation of the neurosensory retina from the pigment epithelium. Understanding its origin is key to choosing the appropriate treatment and preserving visual function.